Hey, we're live. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming along. Looking forward to this week. The square knot, I'm calling it. It may well be that somebody else has found this, but I have been playing around just myself with paper and just seeing what happens, and really happy to share whatever I find. So, this is another little modular piece. It's made of 4 pieces. Hello, Eric. If you happen to have paper which is it's different on color on the other side, then you can get these really nice effects. So sometimes people can also use things like wrapping paper. I'll show you with plain paper. You can also do some coloring as well, or just enjoy plain. It does also work as a plain piece as well. So that's one of them. Hello, Marnie. And also I found that they could sort of link together. You have to make separate little linkers, and I rather like them. As you can see, I've got some lovely coloured papers here. They look rather nice together. It looks kind of quilted on the back. I will show you later on how to do the little linker. I have to say they would start slipping out all the time, so I have ended up using a little bit of Pritt stick in there just to keep them in place, so it would otherwise just be too annoying. If you've got just a couple or a small number or make it cube, they will stay, but otherwise it will be a little bit tricky. It's a nice effect, isn't it? It's like padding, wadding. So yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing this. So it just feels like such a classic sort of design, doesn't it? I don't know if you've seen something like this before, but I just like how it sort of circles around. It felt like a knot because actually this is really nice and strong after the last few folds. Hello, Deborah. Hello. The last few folds are a little bit delicate, and gosh, I have enjoyed the delicacy of them. It's going very carefully and slowly, but I know it can also be a little bit frustrating at times as well. Well, this is a really strong one, you'll be glad to know. So when you make it, it will definitely stay together. There's no falling apart of this one. I've also more recently been really enjoying, sort of found it by chance. Again, others, hello Margaret, May and Wendy, Adrian, may well have found this as well, but this is just from me playing around. I'm calling them strong stars. They're modular ones and they're really strong as well. So that'll be something I will show you in times to come, and then finding loads of different variants. Hello. So inspired oddly by the virus, the idea that you can take something and just start experimenting, adding little folds in different places, what happens, and not really knowing. And actually that's what also makes it quite exciting. So that's in times to come. Next week, actually, a little sneaky preview. Lots of people were asking about the crown, which is actually back to the same unit that I was been playing around for the full circle, the complete circle, and for the flower buds. It's the same really. This is without glue, and actually I have folded it inwards, which is very tricky to do. So actually, if somebody was starting, I would recommend actually just using glue, not giving yourself a hard time. But I did manage to do it. So this is actually fairly tough. It's a little crown, but that'll be for next week because lots of people said they'd like to be able to make a crown. Yeah, the stars. I am loving the stars, and I call these stars, thank you, Eric, strong stars because they are strong. There is obviously gorgeous traditional star from a pentagon, and I love actually how the back of this looks the same as the traditional ones from a pentagon. So it's the same mathematics, of course it is, but it's still kind of amazing when you realise you've done it in a different way and it's come together in the same. So yeah, enjoying these little shapes, and that it's very strong. And you could actually put there's a tiny little hole in there, so you could hang a little thread in there. So, but I think stars are nice anytime. Thank you, Eric. That's very kind of you. I think we all need to be our own little wear our own crowns, don't we? Do our very best. And at home is our place for a party, so maybe a little party crown as well. So, but that's next week, the crown, and this week will be the square knot, and it's pretty simple. Again, most of these actually for me started with a traditional duck, which I really like, and finding and playing with that, different things that could arise from it. So I've mostly found these things just for being playful, actually not knowing what's going to happen, and that's something that I like. Queen Princess, I'm happy with Eva, Eric. Nice to be a pretend one, I think. Definitely not a real one. I wouldn't want that. So yeah, so I hope you'll enjoy this. So I will show you from plain paper, but if you've got colourful paper, you might as well use it because you get this lovely link of colour. Can you see how it then links through? So one side links to the other, and I think that gives this lovely feeling of turning. And it's obviously papers with white on the inside, but I will show you with plain. Oh, this is one that looks like I experimented with even more folds. All these variants, my goodness, you can just keep going once you get the idea of just playing around. It's endless, but I like how they're quite neat on the back and they have these little pockets. So I'll show you how to make a little linker. And as I said, with this one, it's got little linkers at the back and push them in, but they would start to slide out, I think. Maybe if you use very thick card or something, they would stay, I don't know. But sometimes with something bigger like this, why make your life hard? I just use a little bit of glue stick just to keep the squares in place, otherwise they slip out. And I thought it was a really nice effect. Imagine a whole room filled with that. It would drive you crazy, probably. It's very, very patterned, isn't it? These are some lovely papers, Korean papers, from Colour Tree, which is the shop for the British Origami Society, and of course curated by people who love origami, so it's a good place to get things. Okay, right, time's pressing on. I have been talking away, as is custom, because I like the idea that origami is about conversation, being playful, bringing community, and folding as well, of course. Grabbing a board as usual. I've been trying to practice a little bit. I've realised for things that I found, I haven't practiced very much. It isn't very good. So I've tried to do a little bit of practice. Here goes. Right, so we're going to need 4 matching squares. I think I'm just going to use the sort of standard size for origami. Hello, Ken. Lovely to have you here. Thanks for joining us. So we're going to just take a normal piece of paper, A4, or in your case, Ken, letter, fold it in half. We may be watching whatever, it's all good. So folding it in half. Good strong fold, nice and exact. And then you can give it a little tiny nick. Have your hand nice and close to the edge. You tear off. That's it. Well, I've rather enjoyed doing the whole tearing thing. That wasn't something I did before lockdown. I would always use my guillotine or going to make a square. So I'm going to take a corner and bring it down there. Oh, it's great to have you here as well, Ken. It's our community across the world. Small but rather lovely. Hello, Penny, as well. Stephen. Welcome, everybody. Margaret. Everybody. Going to get rid of the rectangle. So turning it over. But if ever you need to stop me and say, can you explain that again? You are welcome. I'm afraid it has to be in the comments, or I wouldn't otherwise know. But it seems to work, doesn't it? Getting rid of that. So all I'm doing is making a biggish square. That's it. Yes, I agree, Eric. Thank you. Yeah, I haven't heard from Junid either. I hope he's okay. So our friend in India. Very, very hard time in India. Such a shame. Really hope things will get better. We're making so many vaccines that we've been using here in the UK. It seems very unfair. I'm going to split up this square into 4. Yeah, we are thinking of you, Junid, and your family and friends. I hope you're all keeping safe. Folding in half. A little tiny neck. So 1 square, folding in 4, and then I'll show you how to make the unit. It's really quite simple, you'll be glad to know, and it's strong, so it's a really good one. There we go, 2, and so these films are all dedicated to my colleagues in a hospital in London, UCH, where I work, and for now working remote, and this is part of my still offering the support to staff and to patients, but it's for everybody. This is, I guess, it is the real advantage, isn't it, of these times, that we can that it's much more accessible, which is great. So, and it's lovely to feel also support from others as well as a result. So, how to make this little unit for making this lovely square knot, I'm calling it. Again, something from me just playing around. I've done one diagonal, so I want you to do the other diagonal as well. Bit of a hard one to do mid-air, so I'm going to, so if you take your square, you've hopefully got 4 little squares, and just folding the other way, like so. It does speak all languages, you're absolutely right. So your 2 diagonal lines. So our next step is to take the top and then bring it to the middle. So I'm going to bring it down into the middle there. Such fun, folding into the camera. The skills we have learnt in lockdown. So hopefully you've done that. And then the next step is to take the side, this top, and we're going to bring it down to that vertical line. So hopefully it all kind of matches up again with that midpoint. So taking this side and I'm going to bring it to that vertical line. Like so on one side. Oh, good point, Penny. I think colour on the outside. Yep. So sorry, this is the outside. This is the outside. And then the same top. Yeah. Because otherwise it's basically mostly, well, you could do it the other way, but so it's mostly colour and just little bits of the white, which I think probably looks better. So this is colourful, this is colourful. So this side and bringing it to the vertical. Yes, I should say these things, shouldn't I? There we go. Oh, brilliant. Glad you're doing it that way. So it should look like this, which you can see it's already getting there, isn't it? So I hope that's worked. And our next step, which is pretty much there, is we're going to fold it in half. So along there. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it up. But maybe you can see from the other side, I'm folding this up so that the points come together. And I'm also folding these bits up too. I don't know why, I just find this really satisfying, these little bits that also fold up. Excellent. So hopefully you've got this, which is just one side of your square knot. That's pretty much it. So if we do that for the next 3, so hopefully you should then definitely get the idea of that, and then we'll see how to put them together. It's really quite simple. So again, we're going to do the diagonals. So I guess this would be the white side and the other side would be the coloured side. Hard for me to think of when I'm not doing it that way. Yeah. So let's do our diagonals. Hopefully you're just getting completely lost in thinking, what am I doing? Rather than thinking about other things. And that's the beauty of it. Glad you're already on the right step, Penny. You knew, didn't you? There we go. So diagonals like that. And then the top point to the middle. I like how it comes together. It's so lovely and strong. It's really nice. There we go. And the same thing that we're going to fold it in half from there to there. So I might just turn it round to the back. Oh, it's screen buffering. Oh dear. I hope I'm okay. Gonna bring it up. Oh, really? You're losing me. I don't know if you can see me or not. Dear. Can you see me? I don't know if you can see me. Is it working or have I frozen? Pose. I don't know if you do say. Picture back. Yay. Whew. Oh, it stopped now. It stopped now in a good way or a bad way. I don't know. I can't tell. It was all appeared to be working at my end, but right, we're just doing the same thing. So again, the diagonals. Can see you. Yay! We're back through the ether. So again, doing the diagonals. At least it's just the same thing a few times. So hurrah! Thanks for letting me know it was wobbly. And then the other line, it's going to happen, isn't it, really? I think the worst one was, I think, one Christmas. It was a star, actually, and it fell in half because I had cut it the wrong way, making a pentagon, and then it all disappeared. So a bit intermittent. Oh, sorry. Not a lot I can do about that one, I'm afraid. I wonder if it's our end. Presumably is if you're all struggling. It's presumably me, not you. But hopefully we'll get there. Top to the middle point. So again, see what I'm doing there. There we go. And then this to that vertical line. But before we assemble it, I should just check that you can all see me. Can't really say, can you, if you don't? And then turning it to the back. And again, folding it in half. And taking these little bits up. How's it going? Am I to be seen or not to be seen? I am here, I promise, but I just can't tell whether you can see me or not. So, yes, okay, thank you, Eric. I take you as the voice of reason somehow. So we've done one diagonal line, we're going to do the other diagonal line. Yay! Ah, good. Oh, it's probably me, but it's just that internet can. Excellent. Hurrah! Thank you, everyone. Really glad. So we're just doing the same thing on those 4 pieces of paper. Top to the middle, and then we'll have a go at assembling. That's it. Looks a bit wonky. Beauty is you can just adjust until it goes this side to that vertical line. Hopefully the repetition is kind of quite relaxing, really. After a while you get the hang of it. You can enjoy that your brain is running easy with time. And it's like everything, it's about practice. And then in half. So turning to the back. Thank you, Adrian. I'm glad it's working. Top to bottom. Yeah, next week we'll make a crown. Why not? That's why we'll crown ourselves. We'll deserve a crown over this time. Right, so hopefully we got 4 of these things. How to assemble them. Right, if you've got different colours, it'll look a lot nicer, I think. So as you saw, this is one which I made earlier. Each a different colour, and it's really nice how the colours sort of link together. Right, how to link. So if you think of it almost like a little picture frame. So I've got one here, and what I'm going to do next is open up this flap, and I'm going to take the next one, and it's really simple. It will nicely slide in there in that corner. You see, it just slipped in there. So good and tight. Yes. As I said, this is a fold which won't fall apart, whereas my others mostly will. You know, they have a beauty in that too. And then just pushing that down. And there's a little flap here, so you can tuck it underneath. So I'm lifting that up, and again, it's for you to sort of find in your own hands. I've tucked that under. You can see there's almost a little double edge. Is that working for you? Did you get two together? And then it just adds this nice detail, which if you've got different colours, we're adding these little areas. So to do that, I'm going to take, there's only one side that's loose, and I'm going to bring this up. So it's going from here to the top. And that's what's giving it that nice little detail. And if you've got different colours, that will appear white and the rest of it coloured. So that's it. So next, I'm just going to slightly shift around my square. Same thing, the next. So again, there's a little bit there, undoing that, bringing this up, and there's this nice little pocket. So again, your next one, which you can see one more slot into the other. So I'm going under there, pushing that in, very nice, and closing that up. And that's already pretty good, but with this as well, this little flap, it can tuck underneath there. I have to say, ooh, good. Excellent, Eric. Isn't it nice? It's just really strong. Again, pretty much found by chance, but just the idea of if you've got little tucks and things to fit in, then it'll all go a lot better. And you never really know until you try, do you? So this side, again, a little bit looser, it's going to go from picking that up and bringing it up so it goes from there to there. Lovely. Coming along well. Turning it around to the next side. How's it going for you? Eric's the fast one, I think, isn't he? Maybe have a slight mouthful of tea just while I'm waiting. Give you a bit more time as well. So hopefully you're getting the hang of it. So again, little loose flap here, lifting that up. That was always the last thing to put in, it's the trickiest, but it's all right now. This is pretty simple. Again, this into there. There we go. Tucking that over. Again, this loose one. Tuck it under there. Excellent. Oh, fair enough, Eric. Yeah, you'll easily do it. Again, this bit, bringing it up. Oh, hello, Sophia. Hello, Sophia's mum. Oh, lovely to have you here. So this is one that I found, Sophia's mum. Yeah, so one of my own designs. Woo! Excellent, Margaret. I hope you like it. So, Sophia's mum. That's so nice. Eric's welcoming you. We have a lovely little group who all comes together. So I'm going to take, how to get it together. Right, this is always the tricky thing. Anything modular, you go around and it's how does it all come together? Right, just trying to think how to explain. So this bit needs to go to the back. Can you see there's a loose bit here? So this needs to go to the front, and this needs to go to the back. It's always a bit like this. Ooh, finished. So this back one, I'm going to try to bring over to the front. So I'm sort of swapping places. Do you see? So the bit that was loose at the front I brought to the back, and the bit at the back I brought to the front. And then you should be able to treat it as you did before in the same way. Lifting up and pushing that in. And it's always tricky, as I said, this final one. Pushing that in there. That's it. And then pushing over that little part. Oh, well done, Wendy. And into there. That's it. Yeah, I know. It feels like a classic, doesn't it, Margaret? And I do wonder, there must be other people who found this. But I've been enjoying just almost taking myself off in a little bubble of my own little playfulness of paper and just seeing what I find. And I reckon whatever I find, it's my finding, and I can pass it on to you. So, but I'd be curious. There must be other people who found this. So if you do know, you're welcome to say. But I think this is still for me to be able to pass on to you, and you're very welcome to pass it on. I think it's all about, really, it's probably about mathematics, really. I can't see I could own this, but it's a nice thing, isn't it? Yes. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, Eric, that would be really nice. So this little piece, it's got these nice little pockets at the back as well. So if you did want to link more than one together, these little linkers will work if you make a box. So each is a different side. But if you want to make a flat sheet, which I think actually looks lovely, to be honest, then, as I said, you make the linkers, you might find they start to shuffle out of place. So you might want to use a tiny bit of glue stick. But I'll show you how to make the linker as well, which is super simple. So to do this, hello, honey. Oh, goodness, carving serviced. I hope it's okay for you. Oh, thank you. Have you come across it before, Stephen? This fold. It seems really obvious, doesn't it? I've been exploring with quite simple things. So yeah, welcome, honey. Hopefully, you've got that video and you can rewind with this as well. So we've been making this square knot, honey, and it's just, the really good thing is it's super strong. So no, it really will hold beautifully in itself. But if you wanted to make more than one to come to, oh, brilliant, Stephen, hurrah. And it feels like a classic kind of origami shape, doesn't it? If you wanted to make lots together, then I'll show you how to make a little linker. Basically just a little fortune teller, to be honest. So I'm going to make a square the same size as the squares that we were using before, but just to show you. Yeah, I thought square knot, it sort of feels like it all comes together in a nice little solid shape. And you'll see later on another time what else I've done with this as well. Oh, brilliant. I'm super chuffed if it's new. I'm almost being a bit wary to ask sometimes. Oh no, then it's not really my own finding, but it is my own finding. So I tend to just start simple and just see where things take me. And the stars have been really fun. Excellent. I'd love to see what you do. Yeah, super sturdy. That's what I like about it. I think I'm enjoying the stars as well because they're also really strong. They absolutely will not fall apart. And at the moment I'm valuing, things that don't fall apart feel quite comforting somehow. They're going to stay there. So all I'm doing at the moment is just trying to make another square the same size as the square that we made the square knot from. And I'll just then show you how to make a little linker. And it is rather nice to keep going and make lots of them and link them together. Yeah, I'm sure you could. I'd be curious to see that, Wendy, whether you could do something similar from one square. Yeah, you probably could. I have no idea, but it'd be fun to try, wouldn't it? Do explore. I'd love to see what you do, Wendy. So to make the linker, all I'm going to do is do the diagonals. Basically just a fortune teller. Diagonals. And there we go. And then take the points and bring it to the middle. That's it. There we go. And then the outside point to the middle. I'm sure you all know this. Same thing again. It's still just so pleasing, isn't it, to do? That's it. Top to the middle. And then I think actually what I did was I kept it on the same side, but it's up to you. Yeah, I agree. It's very quilty feeling. So again, just bringing the points to the middle. Points to the middle. Really, so this is a bit thick, which does help it to stay a bit. But if you get big, it'll become annoying. Things will slip out. Like a little tiny envelope. Yeah, I'd love to see what you do with it. I suppose you can. I suppose this is already looking like the square knot, isn't it? Yes. Can you do it now? Oh, I wonder. Hmm. So, if you were linking one to another, obviously they all need to be the same size squares, but this will go into that little pocket at the back. Yeah, that's it. And then this would obviously go into the next one next to it. So that's it really. And if you're just doing a small number, it will stay. And if you did a box, then you're twisting it back so it will stay without needing any glue. But if you have a big sheet, I just found it was getting too annoying. So I was quite happy to include a little bit of the glue stick in there, just tiny bits that they don't shift around. I rather like the effect of this. It does feel like wadding, it does feel like quilting, but it'd be quite tricky probably to do this, wouldn't it, with fabric? But it does have a fabric feel. That's true, yeah, fabric glue. A lot of ironing as well in there, I think. Is it worth it? Paper's much easier, isn't it? But yeah, I have been less keen on fabric just because it takes so long. It requires so much patience, doesn't it? But I guess that's the point. It's about encouraging patience. So yeah, I think this is one where I started then folding the other ways as well. So again, I've just been really playful. Could you fold this again? You know, so you can just keep playing and seeing what happens when you do things. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the square knot. And it's so strong. Maybe experiment with different colours and yeah, see whether you want to make something bigger, or box worked quite well, but it does feel a little bit chunky with those linkers as well, to be fair. But as a flat sheet, it feels quite nice. It turns it into a little house, doesn't it? But that's without glue. Maybe the trick is to use thicker paper, as this is. That holds quite well, and you've obviously got a linker on each side. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Hope it's inspired you in many ways. Now I'm curious, yes, about can we do exactly the same thing with one piece of paper? I guess the advantage, which is a bit like the square, am I just reinventing? So again, with the star, this is very much like we can see in the background, these wonderful traditional stars which look the same on the back, but I suppose the possible advantage of using it in a modular is that you can use lots of different colours, which is quite nice. And most of all, if you're enjoying yourself, that's all that matters, isn't it? For me, origami is all about how it makes you feel. So, and just coming together, focusing on something else, just doing something a little bit fun. And you're very welcome, Eric. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad your fingers were nimble today. And excellent. Yeah, I love modular origami. So as I said, next week will be the crown, which is the same, which I'm imagining to be almost like little leaves or petals. So it's very similar to the very simple module that I was doing before, and how to do that. It sounded like quite a lot. You're welcome, Kenneth, as well. Because quite a lot of people were saying they'd like to make the crown, so it's also just a nice one. And there's some good ones for a challenge. So if you wanted to make this really sturdy, as I've done, I've folded it inwards, but wow, it's hard to do. So there's a good little challenge if you enjoy your folding, or you might resort to Pritt stick, which is glue stick, which is fine. But very nice. So excellent. You finished your first square. It worked. Brilliant. Oh, oblongs. Oh, I agree, Marnie. These little strips. I sometimes use them for practicing, so I tend to use those little strips. And for shopping list, exactly right. I do endlessly have my little, that's my little list today. My little things are right on there. There's get rid of it and then I chuck it out. So yeah, you have enough lists to keep you very organized, or maybe just to practice your origami, because I find I have to practice a bit in order to demonstrate. I think I was a bit rusty last week, wasn't I, because I hadn't put in the time. It is a bit like it is a performance, isn't it, that Ken was thinking about, magician has to practice their things a lot of times to get fluent. On the other hand, it's quite good not to be too fast and perfect about things, because I'm trying to show people who haven't done it before. So actually, that's a good question in terms of paper. It depends. If you want to do something that's easy for your fingers, often origami paper is better and colourful and thinner. Or some of the Japanese papers can be really quite soft, different sorts of papers. I'm mostly showing you with copy paper, which is just the normal, letter or A4 paper, which is a little bit tougher, but in some ways it's stronger. So I find good for demonstrating. And yeah, if sometimes people think they're being really clever by bringing along some cards, which that is really hard work. Not a good idea at all. So don't use really thick paper. But once you really master something, maybe you might want to use slightly thicker paper, but get ready to maybe use a tool to add those creases in because it'll be hard work. Thin is easier, but it won't last as well. So there's kind of pros and cons. 80 grams. Yeah, that's probably the copy paper, isn't it? I'm glad you enjoyed it, Margaret. Yay! It's lovely to share something new. Yeah, shopping list from Stephen for practicing and experimentation. That's exactly what I'm doing, Stephen. Because actually, when the bits that are sort of almost scraps, then I find it can liberate you a bit more, that you can just play with it. What have you got to lose? Whereas if you've got nice paper, I think nice paper in some ways is the worst. You want to have mastered something first before you do that. So, I mean, like this, I've only made after practicing and, those scraps of paper. And then I've mastered it, then you can do it. But don't start with the best paper. Start with just scrap paper. It doesn't matter. And enjoy then that it's that liberation. So I'm wishing you all a very good, happy, healthy week. Look after yourselves, look after others, be kind, be nice. It's what makes the world a good place. And hope you all, keep well. I will be here next week with a crown. So maybe you might start thinking about some colourful paper for that one. Or maybe, as I was suggesting, just do it as a little practice. And then if you like it, then you can get your nice papers and enjoy doing it then really carefully after that. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, take care too, Eric. Glad keep those nimble little fingers of yours. And take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Happy folding.